I now look to Lisa Ann to close the case for the opposition tonight.
It's an honor to be in a room of such brilliant people wanting to make a better life for everyone forward of them. I'd like to say my name is Lisa Ann, but you all know that by now, and I've been a part of the sex industry my entire adult life. I'm still an active performer, producer, and director in the industry. I have an incredibly adventurous life because of the sex industry, and I've now parlayed that into a sports radio career on Sirius XM. Obviously, I'm not anti-porn. But on many levels, I'm against what porn has become due to the internet. The accessibility of porn to the innocent and sexually uneducated youth of the world. The focus years ago in the early 90s when I first started to shoot sex scenes was to have and capture great sex. That I loved. I was able to experiment my sexuality in ways I never imagined possible, leading to some of the most liberating experiences of my life. I've traveled to different countries to shoot sex scenes, which to me can be so much more in the moment with a language barrier. The language of sex is beautiful everywhere. Then came the internet. It was limitless. No regulations, no laws or protections. Companies are mainly run outside the US to make any legal action against them a difficult process. DVD distribution, which I am still in, still has state laws and regulation because the distributors remain in the US, making the internet a wildly successful profit machine with no moral compass. Flash forward to now, a time where if I want to protect myself, my brand, and my image, I have to produce my own movies, which, let's be real, there's no money in a business that's run by tube sites and a generation that believes that porn is free. If I want to shoot and make money, I can only work for limited companies. And when I say limited, I mean 2. That's pretty limited. Here's the reasons. Only 2 companies will listen to my voice. My voice is all I have to protect myself from pushing my personal sexual boundaries beyond my comfort zone. I tell everyone the same thing. I'm a willing participant. There is no reason for me to be choked, spit on, smacked, verbally disrespected, beaten, or bruised to enjoy sex. I also do not want to shoot incestual scenes. Any roles that are morally compromising in sexual situations which take over the internet and have led this world to some serious confusion. Let me explain the confusion. I'm often recognized by 10 and 12-year-olds. They approach me like I'm a superhero with endless questions, like, if you were my mom, could I have sex with you? Many of them want me to meet their dad, hoping that I will be their stepmom, and that they could then have sex with me. I say the same thing every time. How do you know who I am? And they giggle. I then say, do you click the box that says you're 18? And they giggle. I then very firmly say, 99.9% of what you see on the internet will never happen for you. Don't ask a girl. Don't force a girl. Look at porn stars like stunt people. We do a lot of things that other people can't or won't. They always walk away looking a little broken. Well, I walk away feeling that we, the industry, have failed by not having a stricter age gate, by having endless amounts of porn freely accessible with no credit card to minors in the palm of their hands. Parents are not only watching what their kids may be doing on the internet, but parents are not also right now watching what we, the industry, are doing on the internet. A large percentage of scenes now show violence towards women, rape, incest are all blurring the lines of sexual reality, and we are in no doubt seeing the greatest uptick of sex crimes, sex trafficking, and incest in the US. I've followed stories of accidental deaths caused by choking during sex. In one case, the defendant, a teen, admitted learning this by watching internet porn. There's a site called Facial Abuse, where women are subjected to such a violent blowjob scene, leaving them bruised and broken and unable to work for weeks. There was a site years ago that was ultimately pulled by the credit card processors. It was called Porn Star Punishment. During this time, the internet was limiting my work so much that I decided to take the scene. I arrived to a studio in a concrete room with a metal chair. I left bruised and broken to the point that I could not move for a week. I knew then I needed to pivot and find a new way to still be able to work. The only governing ruler the industry faces is credit card companies, not allowing the use of their cards on these sites. But these same sites can easily be viewed on tube sites for free, a place where many young people are turning to learn about sex. None of this is sexual. None of this is healthy. None of this is watched by the adults that are allowing their young sons and daughters to troll freely on the internet. This is what some may call the dark web, but it's what I now call 80% of porn on the internet. My voice tonight is to protect the young, not sexually educated viewers, as well as the talent in the industry today who are exposing themselves for the hope of popularity and also the ability to make a living. When talent arrive on set, they are told what they're going to be doing that day. Scripts are not given in advance, and many of the members of talent arrive in a financially compromising scenario that does not give them the freedom to say no. The cause and effect of this has been easily seen in the amount of overdoses and suicides in the industry itself. The clickbait provided for those adults who are sexually grounded is not there. The clickbait is luring in the youth. Anyone too young to understand what they're watching is combined with confusion and a rush of adrenaline. Once that is felt, there's no turning back. Nothing vanilla will do. They click and click, and with each click, they are setting back their own sexual growth by obtaining a misunderstood addiction to what they're seeing. The focus now is to drive traffic. It's not to educate about sex. It's not to show anything, like you mentioned, love. It's wrapped around keywords and niches that have never been legally distributed before the internet. This is where I can say the age gate is needed. This is where I can also agree that sexual education should not be responsible to clarify where to click and not to click. Maybe 16 would be a better age than 18. That's the question for sure. Parents need to take responsibility and watch closer to what their kids are seeing. Gaming devices are now linked to all of the largest tube sites in the world to drive traffic, not to increase sexual education or sexual wellness. At the age of 47, I've seen and listened. I've personally mentored young women all over the world. What I hear from endless young women in my travels is that they're not having sex. They had one or two violent situations that turned them off permanently. Their first experiences were one-sided, defined by the porn that their partner had watched, and it scarred them. Young people are having less sex than ever. The state of California just had the lowest birth rate by population in history, which leads me to believe that the amount of bad content on the internet being ingested by the youth is creating a sexual divide instead of a sexual drive. In closing, I love porn, good porn. I love sex, good sex, consensual sex. I believe age limits here could bring back the curiosity for some real-life experimenting, as opposed to the addiction we have seen the internet create. I know this is not an easy topic. I'm sure you may be surprised that I know that I'm not pro-education in the school and also not pro having the age gate. I want you to have the age gate. I think it's important to go back to the 90s. It was a better time. I was raised before the internet. We were curious. We had to make these moments happen for us. We had no expectation embedded from internet porn. We winged it. And I can tell you this, I remember my first kiss, my best kiss, my first sexual experience, my best sexual experience, because they were all mine. I believe less watching and more doing is what you all need. I do want to touch on just a couple of things that were addressed. Condoms, first and foremost. Condoms should be being worn in porn, but the industry fought it. The industry was being assisted by the state, and what did everybody do? They moved to Las Vegas. Producers tell us it won't make money. That's the only way it can be shown in the educational sector, is if it is done right, and that would mean with a condom. Second, it is just entertainment. It's not real. There's someone on the side of this set telling you you're not yelling loud enough, you're not acting aroused enough. If you're not a loud talker, if you're not a yeller, you're being told all the time to yell louder. And I think to myself, as I say to them, no one really responds like this in real sex, so you know. Penis size. You can all calm down because we use a fisheye lens. That will make a penis look up to 4 to 5 inches bigger. It also makes my boobs look bigger, and it makes my ass look bigger. So don't feel bad. You're about the same size as a lot of the actors in the business. We just use special effects. Another topic. I have 3 more things. Another topic we addressed, duration. All of the entertainers in the business are using what I call PEDs, just like in sports. So whether they're using Viagra, whether they're injecting, none of this is lasting 30 to 40. So the expectation you will have from watching a scene that lasts 25 minutes, and when you have sex, it's only a beautiful 6 minutes. That beautiful 6 minutes is beautiful and it's real. It is not real when a guy walks in the room rock hard because he's already injected his penis, so it will be hard, and it's not going to go down after he comes. When you see that, you know he's using PEDs. I would like to tell you, I did a story about the average lifespan of a porn star. The average lifespan is 39 years old. And that is why I am staying around, to help keep the young women alive, to be sure they're doing this for the right reasons. Our suicide rate is incredible. We lose 25 to 50 people a year from either suicide or overdosing. So it's important for someone like myself, who has stepped into other walks of life, to be still present, because all of the successors walk on and they turn their back on the youth, and it is important for us to stay. And the last thing is, do you have a film department at this school? Do you? Okay, so here's what we should do. We should discuss producing an educational series. A series that will be proper, a series that would be accepted by schools, and a series that would be appreciated on the learning. But I just cannot stress enough that porn is so unrealistic. I do it. It is so unrealistic. It cannot be used as a guide. A woman doesn't want to be choked. She doesn't need to be smacked. A penis doesn't need to be thrust into her till she's broken. And that's what's out there now, because again, those 2 words, clickbait, don't fall for it. Thank you.